Back at y'all with another show. Man, here we go. Let's get it. Shout out to the people, man. We are here. We're gonna tweak some things behind the scenes real quick, and we're gonna get into this. Man, shout out to my people, man. Shout out to all my people who's been rocking, all my people who've been supporting my platform, all my people, all my people that's been supporting this good old content, man. You guys are highly appreciated, man. I can't tell you enough, right? But let's go. Hit the like button. It ain't nothing. It's Red Supreme. Support the damn game. Shout out to the people. So we got another episode today, man, with the Hodge twins and Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate is on the chopping plate. His head is on the chopping block. So let's get into this, man. Yes, you were tuned into one of the best in the game, King Supreme. Yes, Desmond Hill and Tammy Jackson. Hey, man, appreciate everybody for sliding on through. You already know how I go. Right. He said, never miss a comment. Well, you're not going to miss a comment, and we're going to continue to do this. So the Hodge twins are at it again, but then again, they ain't never stopped, and they're not going to stop. I spoke to you guys about this yesterday about, black conservatives being puppets and black Democrats and black liberals are puppets. It doesn't matter, man. Left wing, right wing, they come from the same bird, man. So we just gotta call it for what it is, man. Both of those wings are attached to that same bird. Right wing, left wing. Come on, y'all. Let's do better. I could see through muddy water. You know what I mean? So you got black Republicans going against black Democrats, and it's messy. It's crazy. And you guys are being played by both parties and don't realize it. And that's the sad thing about it. I never listened to Andrew Tate. I remember when Kevin Samuels passed and people kept saying, oh, he's going to be the next Kevin Samuels. No, he's not. The dude says a lot of crazy things, and a lot of these nerds on the internet, they're intrigued by the crazy things that he say. I've never been impressed with Andrew Tate. Never really listened to him, right? People would send me clips here and there, but I never really done any content about Andrew Tate because I never really cared, right? The guy doesn't spark my interest, right? He's white when it's convenient, and then he'll try to pull the black card when that's convenient, man. The guy is he's confused. He's going through an identity crisis. When he wants to pander to the alt-right, then he'll say negative things about black folks. And then when he wants to fit in with black people, then he'll say, well, my father is black. So he, clearly he's playing both sides. He's playing both sides, man. Andrew Tate ain't no damn pimp. He might have some player ways about himself, when it comes to how he deals with women, but he's not a pimp. That's clear to see. He ain't that. And you don't need to be a pimp, especially when you're already successful and you got money. So he doesn't need to be a pimp. So the fact that they're trying to throw pimp charges on him is like, come on, y'all. It's crazy. They tried to say that Diddy was a pimp, and we know that Diddy is not a pimp. Diddy is a trick. Diddy is a customer. Listen, I mean, Diddy is a hustler. Diddy is a customer, but Diddy is no pimp. They try to call everybody pimps. Now, listen, you got guys who are notoriously known for tricking, and they'll try to say, well, he's some pimping. And and the guy that they're talking about is a notorious known trick. He's a notorious trick. The tragic mulatto. Yeah, man. Like I say, Andrew Tate plays both sides. He's white when that's convenient, then he's black when that's convenient. Whatever benefits him at that particular time, that's what he's gonna do. So you can't trust people like that, man. He's gonna play both sides. You know, whatever benefits him in that moment, that's what he's gonna do. So you should never trust anybody like Andrew Tate. Hell nah. The tragic mulatto, man. You guys get on up in here. Yeah, shout out to Tammy Jackson. Yeah, man. A lot of these guys, unfortunately, they play both sides, right? They, you know, and I'm pretty sure you guys have noticed the same things. You know, this bozo, I don't even want to say his name because I'm not going to give him no attention, no clout. You had a bozo who did a post about me, and he posted that crap in his community tab. He said that I got a white father and a black mother. I said, man, you people say anything, man, because they know a lot of people are dumb enough to listen. You know what I mean? He accused me of having a white father. I said, man, you crazy, man. People say anything. You know, my parents are foundational Black Americans. They're from Birmingham, Alabama. Neither one of my parents are white. Nobody in my family is white. But it sounds good, man. So, you know, people say anything that they want, man. This is the internet. It don't bother me, but I'm sharing that with you guys to let you know how bogus a lot of these people are when they're just looking for something to talk about, you know. But get on up in here, man. You know, get on up in here and make sure that you guys like the content. Shout out to my man Scoop for sliding on through, you know. Yeah, man. When I saw that post, I laughed. It was funny. It was comedy. So I'll give you that. Take my hat off to you, man. It was funny. It was real funny, man. It was hilarious, man. Hey, man, that joke made my day. But anyway, man, we're gonna get into this content, man. There's a guy, and I'm trying to remember his name. The Apostle, right? The Apostle. That's this dude's name, right? And he doesn't get on camera, but he agrees with anybody who talks about black fatigue. And the crazy thing about white people with this black fatigue thing is like, do you guys see the crimes that you commit? When you think about pedophiles, and I don't want to say it, pedophiles, who's the face of that? It ain't black men. I think we all know who that is, right? When we talk about mass shootings, people who shoot up churches, people who try to assassinate the president, these are white people. So it'd be easy for black folks to say, hey, man, we have white fatigue. And we would be in our right to say that, right? But it's mighty funny that white people ignore all the crimes that they people commit. You know, they try their best to ignore the crimes that their own people commit. Charlie Kirk ignored the crimes that his people commit. Charlie Kirk would have been safer around black folks. He was safer around black people. But he spent all his time trying to demonize black people, and he got taken out by somebody who looks like him, right? And I'm just giving you the facts. I'm not celebrating anybody's death. I'm just telling the truth about what happened. Now, you know how they say, well, you can't handle the truth. Okay, well, don't get mad at me for telling the truth. Mr. CK was unalived by his own people, not a black person. But you got all these white folks on social media talking about black fatigue. Well, it was a white guy it was white men who tried to assassinate the president on 3 different attempts. It was a white man who unalived Mr. CK, right? It was a white man who shot up that church and burned it down. So it would be easy for Americans to say, hey, man, we have white fatigue. Look at all these violent crimes that white men are committing. Everybody should start making videos about white fatigue. Like I told you guys, man, I got a series coming about the the raccoon of the year, and then we're gonna do a whole series about white fatigue. And we're going to touch on all these violent crimes that's committed by white guys. We're going to touch on that. I'm going to do a series on both of those things, man. Hey, both of those things will be coming this month, man. I got a lot of content to drop on that, man. Seriously. So, yeah, man, be on the lookout for that, man. We're going to talk about white fatigue in America and how everybody ignores white people. They ignore the crimes, the violent crimes that the white people commit, and they're not holding them accountable for that. Your people just unalive CK. Your people try to unalive Trump, and you got the nerve to talk about black fatigue. You done lost your mind. Let's get into this clip, man. We ain't gonna waste no time, man. Shout out to everybody. Get on up in here, man. Let's do it.
That's what the white people do best.
Yeah.
I mean, like my camera guy who's off. There he is. Look at him. Look at him.
White
right?
guy.
These are the people who, in 1960s in NASA, when they did Apollo 11, all them motherfuckers, there's like 20,000 of them, little white guys with glasses and pieces of paper and a pen, and they put something on the moon.
Yeah.
You get 10,000 black people in a room, tell them to achieve anything.
Andrew Tate explodes with black fatigue.
He said you get black people have achieved a lot, and Caucasians have destroyed and sabotaged black progress. Now, don't get it twisted. You got a lot of black people who are making progress. I'm talking about cities and towns and communities that was built from scratch by foundational black Americans. That progress was sabotaged by white folks in this country, right? But nobody wants to talk about white fatigue. That's crazy. It's like these people think that we're stupid, as if we don't understand the history in this country. Like we don't see these white guys shooting up churches, unaliving innocent people just because they felt like it. You know, white guy went up to Florida State University, let off rounds and laid a few people down just because he felt like it. North Carolina, 2 weeks ago in North Carolina, a white guy shot into a restaurant, unalived 3 people and injured 5 more. But yet you don't see any videos of people talking about white fatigue. The hypocrisy is real.
At the Hodge twins in.
Yeah.
You get 10,000 black people in a room, tell them to achieve anything.
Andrew Tate explodes with black fatigue at the Hodge twins in this clip, as Andrew Tate calls out the lunacy of the woke left for brainwashing people into not pointing out the obvious violence and degeneracy blowing up in America that now is putting people's lives at risk, like Andrew Tate.
Okay, look at the violence that white people look at the violent crimes that white people commit. You notice he's talking about the violence that's going on in America, and he's not holding white people accountable for any of it. White men tried to assassinate Donald Trump 3 different attempts. Y'all been shooting up churches, Catholic schools, colleges, restaurants. A white guy unalived 3 police officers in Pennsylvania last month. What is you talking about? These people speak as if white men are not out here committing violent crimes. This is crazy.
Points out it's a dangerous world. Let's get in.
Black fatigue. People are tired of black people.
And people are tired of white people too. How could you not be tired of white folks? Anytime you shoot up a church and burn it, that's demonic. And you know what they're going to say? Well, that was just an isolated incident. No, it's not. White men have a history of burning churches down in this country, shooting up churches and burning them down. White men have a long history of that in this country. So no, that's not an isolated incident when you think about what just took place in Michigan. So it's safe to say that a lot of people are tired of white folks.
Tate points out it's obvious violence and degeneracy blowing up in America.
I hate to keep rewinding this, but I want you to listen to this hypocrisy, this stupidity, this buffoonery coming from this white guy giving his commentary.
The Hodge twins in this clip, as Andrew Tate calls out the lunacy of the woke left for brainwashing people into not pointing out the obvious violence and degeneracy blowing up in America that now is putting people's lives at risk. Like Andrew Tate points out, it's a dangerous world. Let's get in.
Black fatigue. People are tired of black people. Every time you look up, some Negroes arguing about something.
Well, you know,
Derek Penny, that whole situation.
oh yeah, that was incredible. That was incredible, and it's. I'll be honest. One of the things that's amazing to me, because I am American. I lived here till I was 8, and then I grew up in England, and then I moved all around the world. What's kind of amazing to me about the American consciousness is that they have this huge preposition with racism, and they seem to think this is a racist country. Like, you motherfuckers haven't been anywhere.
Yeah.
Because this is the least racist nation on the planet. You think America's racist? Let me tell you where's racist. You know the most racist place? Africa.
Oh yeah.
You ever been to Africa? You Hutu, you're Tutu.
Right.
You're
He said that Africa is more racist than America. I don't believe that, right? I don't believe that Africa is more racist than America. That's a bold-faced lie, right? Hit the like button. It ain't nothing. Shout out to Desmond Hill for blessing us with that 15 on the Cash App. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you, brother. Keep doing your thing.
poo-poo. Like, they're fucking killing each other, having genocide. They all look the fucking same. They're pulling out machetes. Look at the Rwandan genocide. I couldn't even tell the two teams.
Right.
And white men have gone to war over different religions, different ideologies. The North and the South can't agree on how they want to run this country. So if you've seen civil wars spark up in this country, and it's white conservatives against white liberals, white Democrats versus white Republicans. Man, you got white men shooting up churches because they don't agree with that particular religion. You know, white conservatives blame liberals and Democrats for everything, and white Democrats blame white conservatives and white Republicans for everything. So everybody's just pointing the finger at one another, right? Seriously.
Running around fucking swinging blades. Bro, the whole world's fucking racist.
Killing each other over nothing.
Over nothing. Hutu, your nose shape.
They
I don't know
got
the
this
fuck.
huge continent. You got all these black people. You got all these resources.
All they do is kill.
And they're probably the poorest continent in the world.
Of course.
They have no leadership, and their culture is just broken.
100%. And also, it's because Africa's rich that it's poor, which we'll talk about in a second. But America's the least racist place you find.
Yeah, but Africa is not united. You know, there's different countries in Africa, different languages and different religions. So when you say Africa, you can't lump Africa in the same category like you can talk about the United States, because in the United States is one president, right? But when you go to Africa, you got all these different countries. Africa is a continent. It's not one big country. You know, come on, homies.
Planet. You think China's not racist? You think Japan's not fucking racist? You think India's not racist with this caste system? Right. You think Africa's not racist with this fucking genocides?
Right.
Like everywhere, even when I moved to England, the amount of racism.
And this dude right here curses a lot. You know, it's hard to do content on Andrew Tate because the dude curses every 5 seconds.
I dealt with for being American. Like, I was American, they're like, oh, yank, oh, dickhead, school shooter. But it's like, watch out. But the thing is, I think it's funny.
Yeah.
But these people can't take a fucking joke.
Right.
Like, I love when people, I have the most diverse friend group, and our friendships are based on racism. Like, it's funny.
Right.
It's funny.
Right.
Like, I know a white guy.
Yeah.
Who's loyal.
Right.
Fucking weird. But like, we make fun of each other all the time. Like,
what was crazy is you had a lot of black dudes in the manosphere celebrating Andrew Tate. I'm like, man, Andrew Tate is a disgrace, man. Black people ain't got no damn business embracing no Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate plays both sides of the fence. He's white when that's convenient, and when he wants a black card, he'll say, well, my daddy is FBA. So you can never trust somebody like that. I've never listened to Andrew Tate. He's never appealed to me.
Racism is hilarious amongst a friend group. Right. But in America, everyone's so sensitive to it. It's insane. And they believe they live in a racist country. It's like, you need to go basically anywhere else. Yeah. Go anywhere else and you will see. And what's interesting is actually the countries like Dubai, which I spent a lot of time in, the UAE, which is a super diverse country with 80% immigration. But the locals, the natives, they're above you. You can't fuck with a Gulf Arab in UAE. You can come and you can visit and you can buy a nice house and you can live there and you can enjoy Dubai. But if you crash your car into an Arab, it was your fault. Yeah. That's just how it is. Like, there's no way out of it. Right. So the whole world's fucking
the black manosphere was just like, it was like a bunch of men who wanted to talk about women, and they made some good points, but at the same time, they ignored racism coming from white conservatives. They ignored that. And they said, you know, we're just going to talk about black women, but ignore racism in this country. And that's exactly what the Black Manosphere did. The Black Manosphere has produced people like the Angry Man, and you already know what type of cat that is. It's produced people like Anton Daniels, who got co-signed by Kevin Samuels. And it's a long list of others. The Manosphere, listen, homie, the Manosphere promoted right-wing talking points. The Manosphere promoted white conservative talking points, MAGA talking points. A lot of those guys in the Manosphere, the Black Manosphere, promoted those talking points and stood by it. See, we expect for the white Manosphere to uphold those talking points, but when you're seeing people in a Black Manosphere aligning themselves with MAGA, white conservative talking points, that's when you knew it was like, okay, this thing is over with, bro. This thing is a scam. A bunch of black men who don't even take pride in who they are. And they co-sign negative stereotypes about their own people. That's what I saw going on in the Black Manosphere, and I didn't want no part of that. Now, shout out to some of them brothers, because I met a few brothers who were in the Manosphere, who were grounded, and they understand what's going on, but the vast majority of them, no.
Except America. And these people are constantly and endlessly crying. It's like so ungrateful almost.
Yeah. Well,
it's ungrateful.
I think most of it comes from the black community, though. I think that's what's keeping racism alive in this country. Yeah, and the white liberal is pushing it too, his own life support.
What do you mean that's what's keeping racism alive in this country? So what you're saying is white Republicans ain't they're not racist, they're not promoting racism. See, this is what I don't like about these black conservatives. They talk about white liberals and they talk about black liberals, they talk about white Democrats, they talk about black Democrats. But they pretend as if white Republicans don't promote racism. That's what I don't like about these black Republicans. They play stupid like they don't see the obvious.
Yeah.
Well, I think everyone's tired of it now, but they're going to keep trying to push it because it allows them to feel important for 5 seconds. So they're going to keep trying to push it.
Andrew, do you consider yourself to be a...
Shout out to CJ Riggs Boxing for blessing us with that super chat, man. I appreciate you for supporting the content. Yeah, man, we're monetized over here, man. So I took a step back from Red Supreme TV 1 and I said, I'm going to do a lot of content over here because we got to build this channel up, man. And that's exactly what we're doing, man. So I appreciate everybody for the love and support that you guys send on a daily.
African American?
Well, there's times. I'm like the day walker. I swap in and out.
See, listen, he just told you. He just told you that he's white when it's convenient and then he's black when it's convenient. I told you. I didn't even have to listen to this video to know that. I'm judging him by his actions. I've seen him do it before. I don't watch his content like that, but I watched a few videos to see the type of games that he plays. Speaking about Andrew Tate.
Andrew, do you consider yourself to be African American?
See, he gonna ask him, do you consider yourself to be an African American? And let's see what Andrew Tate has to say about that.
I think everyone's tired of it now, but they're going to keep trying to push it.
That's what's keeping racism alive in this country. Yeah, and
the whole world's fucking racist except America. And these people are constantly and endlessly crying.
No, America might be better to a certain extent when it comes to certain things, but no, they're practicing the same beliefs. You know, and in some cases, it could be worse in America, right? So we have to be honest about what's really going on.
It's like so ungrateful almost.
Yeah. Well,
it's ungrateful.
I think most of it comes from the black community, though. I think that's what's keeping racism alive in this country. Yeah, and the white liberal is pushing it too, his own life support. Yeah.
Well, I think everyone's tired of it now, but they're going to keep trying to push it because it allows them to feel important for 5 seconds. So they're going to keep trying to push it.
Andrew, do you consider yourself to be African American?
Well, there's times. I'm like the day walker. I swap in and out. It depends.
Right.
You know. Like I had an auntie. She's black and she talks like a white woman until she gets mad. Then she's Jamaican. Yeah. You ever had one of them?
Yeah, definitely.
That's like me. Yeah. Depends what mood I'm in.
Yeah. Right.
Sometimes I'm white. Sometimes I'm black. Depends what mood I'm in. Yeah. But no, it's really interesting. And also, pattern recognition isn't racism. We need to make that very clear. Like if I think of a pedophile, I imagine a white man.
Yeah, right.
And if I think of gang shooting, I imagine a black man. Call me racist, but that's just what I imagine, right?
When I think
you
of
imagine
tacos, I think of Latinos.
Well, that's right. Yeah, 100%. Build the wall. So we got enough tacos. It's fine. We don't need any more. So
if I walk into a restaurant, a Latino restaurant, and I see a bunch of Asians making tacos, I'm walking right out.
100%.
Yeah.
So racial stereotypes also exist for a reason, but now we're going to try and tell us that we have to ignore basic pattern recognition or it's racism. Right. And this is the point that's difficult because I'll be completely honest with you. If I was Snow White and I was a police officer and I was in inner Chicago and it's 4 a.m. and I've stopped a Toyota Camry and there's 4 black guys in it. And my partner got killed 2 years ago because of a Toyota Camry with 4 black guys in it. And they're not compliant. I'll be trigger happy. Now, to pretend he's not.
See, this is the crazy part about it. We know that the United States was built on racism. So how are you going to pretend like there's no racism in America today when America was literally built on racism and white supremacy, to where white people had the authority. White people felt that they were superior and everybody else who were not white were inferior. America was built on that mindset. So we have to be honest. We have to be honest about how this country was built, and they're not doing that. Study the history of America and how it was built. Then you're going to say, damn, he's telling the truth. America was built on racism. Come on, man. Now you want us to believe that it's not racist today? I'm not saying that America is the worst country in the world. There's a lot of great things about America, but at the same time, America has a dark side to it as well. That's like if you go to Miami Beach. Yes, you got beautiful beaches, sunshine, but Miami also has a dark side to it. There's a lot of good things about America, but at the same time, America has a dark side to it, and it was built on racism. Come on, homie. We're not going to sit up here and play those games. We're not going to rewrite history. I'm going to tell it like it is.
But that's just what I imagine, right?
When I think of tacos, I think of Latinos.
Well, that's right. Yeah, 100%. Build the wall. So we got enough tacos. It's fine. We don't need any more. So
if I walk into a restaurant, a Latino restaurant, and I see a bunch of Asians making tacos, I'm walking right out.
100%.
Yeah.
So racial stereotypes also exist for a reason, but now we're going to try and tell us that we have to ignore basic pattern recognition or it's racism.
Right.
And
Student Warrior, man, I still got to get back to the things, man. I'm going to unblock you. So I'm going to mod you up, Student Warrior. So for sure, I appreciate you for supporting the content yesterday.
This is the point that's difficult because I'll be completely honest with you. If I was Snow White and I was a police officer and I was in inner Chicago and it's 4 a.m. and I've stopped a Toyota Camry and there's 4 black guys in it and my partner got killed 2 years ago because of a Toyota Camry with 4 black guys in it and they're not compliant, I'll be trigger happy. Now, to pretend he's not, that's pattern recognition.
Yeah. Okay, so he's talking about pattern recognition. Let's talk about pattern recognition. Look at all these racist white people in this country. Should black people say, hey, man, if we're judging America by its history, then we have a reason to believe that a lot of white people are racist. You do talk about pattern recognition, so let's talk about it. Look at all these churches that's been bombed and shot up by white people. So there's a pattern here. Anytime there's an attempt on the president's life and someone tries to assassinate him, the perpetrators are always white men. Pattern recognition, right? Anytime somebody, I would say 90% of the time when somebody shoots up a college or a church or burns it down, 90% of the time, these are white guys. Pattern recognition. Anytime you see, anyway, I think you guys get the picture. It's mighty funny that he don't want to talk about pattern recognition when it comes to these violent crimes that are committed by white guys. Bless the Cash App, hit the like button. It ain't nothing.
Right. That's how you survive.
That's how you survive in the world.
Yeah.
The reason our ancestors survived is because we saw someone go try and pet the lion.
Right.
Got eaten. And we're like, there's a pattern here. Yeah. You try. Oh, he died too. Okay. Avoid the lion. Right. There's a pattern recognition. So
study the history in this country when it comes to racism. White men have a pattern when it comes to racism in this country. But I guess pattern recognition doesn't apply to white people in this country. We're not supposed to acknowledge all of the racism that comes from whites in this country. There's a pattern here. Clearly there is. Clearly we can see the patterns. But you don't want to acknowledge the pattern, these patterns that you can see coming from white people. We're supposed to ignore that and pretend like it doesn't exist. But when it comes to black people, black people will do this, black folks will do that, and it's perfectly fine for them to say that. But when black people hold whites accountable, you know what they say? You guys need to start pretending to be a victim. But when white people stereotype black people, we could easily say, stop pretending to be a victim. And you know what they're going to say? Well, we have evidence that black people commit these type of crimes. Well, we have evidence that a lot of white guys are crazy. We have evidence that a lot of these white guys are crazy. A lot of these white guys are racist. I'm from Los Angeles, California. In the Los Angeles County Sheriff Department, there's a white gang called the Executioners. And then back in the day, they had a gang called the Vikings. And these were racist white men who were part of the LAPD and the LA County Sheriff. We have racist white gangs within the Los Angeles Police Department, within the Los Angeles County Sheriff Department, right? So we can see a pattern here, right? But when white people stereotype us, well, they have the right to stereotype us. Well, black people are dangerous. Black people do this. Well, stop pretending to be victims, white people. You know how you guys like to tell us, stop pretending to be victims? Why don't you guys stop talking about black stereotypes? Stop pretending to be victims. But when we talk about what whites have done in this country, when we bring up historical facts when it comes to white people and we connect them to racism and violent crimes, you know what white people say? Black folks need to stop pretending to be victims. You need to pick yourself up in your bootstrap. Stop pretending to be victims. That is how they gaslight you. But it's perfectly fine for them to stereotype us. It's perfectly fine for them to say, oh, we're worried about blacks attacking us. You know what he said? Pattern recognition. I guess pattern recognition only applies to black folks. It don't apply to white folks.
What's interesting, what's so scary about this racism argument is it prevents people. I'll give you another example of this in a second, but
let me prove this person wrong. Colonel said no. People like you know they need America needs protection from people like you. A white men try to assassinate Donald Trump. Americans need protection from you. A white guy shot up a church in Michigan and burned it. People need protection from people like you. A white guy in Pennsylvania unalived 3 police officers. People need protection from people like you. A white guy shot up Florida State University earlier this year. Americans need protection from people like you. A white guy shot up a Catholic school in Minneapolis. America needs protection from people like you. Dylan Roof, a white guy, shot up a black church in Charleston, South Carolina. Americans need protection from people like you. A white guy in Buffalo, New York, 2023, went into this grocery store in a black community with an assault rifle and unalived 10 people. Americans need protection from people like you. You have the victim mindset because you're trailer park trash and you're in my comment section talking about this. Nobody pretends to be victims more than whites in this country. Let me ask you something, Colonel. Name a struggle that whites have went through in this country. Name a struggle that whites have went through in this country. You never had to deal with Jim Crow laws. You've never been enslaved. Blacks ain't never created laws to oppress whites in this country. You can't name one white community that blacks burned down a whole community. I can name you several black communities that black people built from scratch that white people burned down. Tulsa, Oklahoma was burned down by racist, hateful whites. Study Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Wilmington, North Carolina was a prosperous place. Black for black people. Whites got jealous, they burned it down. Elaine, Arkansas. Whites were jealous of black people's progress, they burned it down. And keep in mind, blacks built these towns and communities with no reparations and no handouts from the government, but yet and still racist white people sabotaged it out of jealousy, out of hatred. So Americans need protection from people like you. What a buffoon. What a hypocrite. What a buffoon. You notice this, you guys? White people never hold their own people accountable for the violent crimes they commit. He's talking about black criminals, but yet he's not holding white criminals accountable at all. The hypocrisy.
Prevents people from acting appropriately, understanding that perhaps the world's not a perfect place. Perhaps it's never going to be fully balanced. So you need to understand when you are going to be deemed more of a threat. So if I was a completely black person in that Toyota Camry, I would say this officer's intimidated guys. We would be on our best behavior. Right. Now they'll sit and say, I shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't have to lock your door.
You know what they say, and I'm gonna do a stream about this too, man. Make sure that you guys bless the line. Get them likes up, man, to make sure that you share. Now, you know, they say that black men are violent because they don't have fathers in the home. Well, what's the excuse for these violent white men? You say that white men grew up in 2-parent homes. What's the excuse for these white men to commit these violent crimes? What's the excuse for that white guy who unalived Mr. CK, Mr. Charlie? He had a father. He had 2 parents. What was his excuse for his violent nature? Look at all these mass shootings committed by white guys. I'm waiting to hear the excuse for white men and why they commit these violent crimes. Black men, they'll say, well, that's because they live in the ghetto. They grew up in fatherless homes. What's the excuse for these violent white men in America? I am waiting to hear your excuse for these white men who are mass shooters. What's the excuse? I'm waiting to hear this excuse. White men doing all these mass shootings, but yet you claim they grew up in these great communities with great families, but yet they're committing all these mass shootings. They even tried to assassinate the president. What's the excuse for violent white men in this country? I bet money he can't give you a logical explanation. I bet money he can't give you a logical explanation for why these white men do all these mass shootings and commit these violent crimes. He can't give you no logical explanation. I ain't waiting to hear your excuse. But he's not gonna. What he's gonna do is he's gonna gaslight and he's gonna deflect and he's gonna move the goalposts. He can't give us a logical explanation for why these white guys do all these mass shootings in this country, because they grew up in good communities, in great neighborhoods with great families.
Yeah, but you do. Right. The world's not a perfect fucking place. Right. There's no such thing as shouldn't have to. Right. I'm a big man. If I go and knock, let's say my car breaks down and I go knock on it, I'm
right. You know what they're gonna say? Oh, well, he was mentally challenged. He didn't take his meds. He suffered from mental health issues. Those are the excuses that they make for white guys when they commit violent crimes. Terrible excuses.
Be more intimidating. I have to keep that in mind. I'm not gonna be at the door like they're trying to flex. Yeah. They're not going to fucking open it. Yeah. You have to know the game you're playing.
Yeah, because white people, someone knocking on the door, they're like, I don't know this guy. This is probably a home invasion.
Yeah, exactly. You know? Yeah. So what I'm saying is, and this get me in trouble, if you're a black person in the inner city and you understand how the inner city runs, when you're getting stopped by police, you should comply more than ever, because you should understand perhaps it's unfair he has these preconceived notions. Perhaps it's unfair. Perhaps you're a great person. Perhaps, yes. But the world's not perfect.
Yeah.
Right. And thinking that the world is perfect and us trying to push this ideal version of the world where everyone ignores basic pattern recognition is bullshit and garbage. I'm more intimidated when I walk past 5 men. If I'm walking alone at night and there's 5 men on a street corner, I find that more scary than 5 women on a street corner. Yeah. Am I sexist? No, that's fucking, I'm not a dumbass. I'm a realist. Right. I'm a realist. So this racism's gone so far now that we're disrupting the ability for people to be realists. So they're expecting a little white woman to walk past 5 big Negroes in the middle of inner city Chicago and be like, don't be racist, Jane. Don't be racist, Jane.
Listen, black people don't want to walk next to a group of thugs by themselves late at night, right? We get that, right? That's like if we see a bunch of racist rednecks, we don't want to stop in the sun downtown to get gas, right? Because so the same way the same way he's using Chicago as an example, you don't want to get caught in the sun downtown in Mississippi. You might get attacked by rednecks. You don't want to stop in the sun downtown in Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia. You know what I mean? You don't want to stop in one of those sun downtowns. You might get attacked by a redneck. But of course, he's not going to talk about that. He wants to talk about violent thugs in Chicago, but he don't want to talk about these racist rednecks in these sundown towns who are known to be violent. They have a long history of it.
Don't be racist. Hi, fellas. Like, bro, you're gonna lose your handbag. Yeah, at least.
Right.
Like the Hodge twins mentioned, yeah, people, they're just tired of it. So many people have black fatigue, unfortunately, because this is all a result of the woke left's policies, like Andrew Tate mentioned.
And guess what? We're sick of racist white folks in this country too. And we could blame white Republicans. We could blame white conservatives. This has a lot to do with white culture and how violent it has been over the last 4 centuries in this country. So it's safe to say that a lot of Americans have white fatigue as well. You guys are shooting up schools, shooting up churches, shooting up restaurants, unaliving police officers. You guys have made several attempts on Donald Trump's life. You assassinate Mr. CK, Mr. Charlie. So it's safe to say that we have white fatigue as well. There's a lot of violent criminals in the white community, but of course, you white conservatives will never hold them accountable. Why? Because you guys are hypocrites. 100%.
You want to convince people to live in a delusional world and pretend common sense isn't real.
You want everybody in America to be delusional, as if we can't see that a lot of these, as if we don't see white men committing these violent crimes all across the country, all over America. You want everybody to pretend like it doesn't exist. That's why you got all these white people talking about black fatigue, but it's mighty funny that they're not holding these white criminals accountable who commit these violent crimes and these mass shootings. White fatigue is real, but white folks tend to ignore that. Why? Because they don't want to hold their own people accountable. That's why.
Racist, Jane. Don't be racist. Hi, fellas. Like, bro, you're gonna lose your handbag.
Yeah,
at least.
Right.
Like the Hodge twins mentioned, yeah, people, they're just tired of it. So many people have black fatigue, unfortunately, because this is all a result of the woke left's policies. Like Andrew Tate mentioned, like, you want to convince people to live in a delusional world and pretend common sense isn't real. You know, don't use your brain. Don't use, that part that says survive and protect yourself. Don't use that, because otherwise you're a racist or you're a transphobe or whatever it is, right? These things exist. And now you're putting people's lives at risk as they force themselves to live in a way that they know instinctually, like they feel it inside, like this is wrong, but they don't want to look bad, because that's the cult mentality. I mean, yeah, places like Chicago, cities, they're exploding. So many different places with violence. And it's like basic common sense, protect yourself, look out, don't be stuck out at night. All of these things the woke left has tried to get rid of. And now, families are being hurt, children are getting hurt. It's just endless, and they don't care. And they just want to blame anyone else who points out what everyone knows, just looking at it with common sense. What they know, it is right in front of their face. This is the whole thing with Donald Trump. It's like common sense wins, finally. So maybe we can get some justice and some police on the streets and stop all this nonsense, but not pointing out the degeneracy and all of this within.
Well, what about all this degeneracy going on in the white community? It was a violent criminal, a violent white criminal who unalived Mr. Charlie, Mr. CK. But it's mighty funny that you're not talking about white fatigue. That white man shot up that church and burned it down, and you're not talking about degeneracy that's coming from your own community, the hypocrisy coming from these white conservatives.
So many parts of the black culture in the inner cities, yeah, this is now exploded. And now
it's mighty funny that they always want to talk about violent black culture, but they never want to talk about violent white culture. They pretend like violence doesn't go on in white communities. These people are hypocrites. Let's talk about black criminals all day while ignoring what white criminals are doing. The dude who's running his channel, he's a hypocrite, but then again, he's a white conservative. What do you really expect? Black conservatives are hypocrites. White conservatives are hypocrites. They have the same talking points. Black conservatives are puppets who are being controlled by the puppet master, and I think we all know who that is. Black conservatives are worthless. Black conservatives, they are worthless to the black community. I got to be honest with you. Black conservatives are bootlickers. Black conservatives are puppets. Black conservatives can't afford to hold white conservatives accountable. The only people that black conservatives can hold accountable is black people and maybe a white liberal. And you heard what I said, maybe a white liberal. But black conservatives cannot hold white conservatives accountable. Black conservatives cannot hold white Republicans accountable. Why? Because they are puppets who are being controlled by the puppet master.
Now you have these kids just looking at it with common sense. What they know, it is right in front of their face. This is the whole thing with Donald Trump. It's like common sense wins, finally. So maybe we can get some justice and some police on the streets and stop all this nonsense, but not pointing out the degeneracy and all of this within so many parts of the black culture in the inner cities. Yeah, this is now exploded. And now you have these kids running around just shooting like crazy. And it's like, you're a racist if you point it out. So what are you supposed to?
Black conservatives are pathetic. Black conservatives are worthless. They're puppets. They don't have a voice of their own. Black conservatives don't even have their own talking points. They regurgitate alt-right talking points to appease their white peers. You're right, to appease white conservatives and white Republicans. Black conservatives are pathetic. They are worthless. They're worthless to themselves and they're worthless to their own people. I just got to be honest with you. It's mighty funny that this white guy who's the white guy that's doing the commentary on this channel, he's not holding white people accountable for anything. He's going to pretend like he didn't see all these mass shootings that white men, look at all these mass shootings that were done by white men. He's going to pretend like he didn't see any of that. And you know what he's going to talk about? Violent black thugs in Chicago, violent black criminals in inner cities across America. But he's not holding white people accountable for none of the violent crimes that they've committed over the last couple of months. Look at all these mass shootings. It is safe to say that we all have white fatigue. Donald Trump is safer around black people than he is around white people. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree with that. Donald Trump is safer around black people than he is around white people. Who tried to assassinate Donald Trump on 3 attempts? It was white men. Charlie Kirk was safer around black folks than he was around white folks. Who want to lie to him? A white man who looks just like him?
Face. This is the whole thing with Donald Trump. It's like common sense wins. Finally. So maybe we can get some justice and some police on the streets and stop all this nonsense. But not pointing out the degeneracy and all of this within so many parts of the black culture in the inner cities. Yeah, this is now exploded. And now you have these kids running around just shooting like crazy. And it's like, you know,
and white men are just shooting like crazy all across the country. You got Nazis, you have skinheads. You have the Aryan Brotherhood, you have white nationalist groups, you have the white knights. There's tons of white supremacist groups all across the country. But you're not holding them accountable for anything. Let's talk about violent black thugs in Chicago while ignoring these mass shootings that are committed by white guys. Yeah.
You're a racist if you point it out. So what are you supposed to do? No, absolutely not. This crap's got to go. People are tired of it.
Donald Trump was safer around black folks than he was around white folks. You never seen a black man trying to assassinate Donald Trump. You only seen white men doing that. Black people wasn't sending Charlie Kirk death threats. It was white people sending Charlie Kirk death threats. It was a white man who took him out. Donald Trump and Charlie Kirk would have been safer around black people than compared to being around white people. These are just known facts. I don't care about how you feel. I'm giving you the facts, the hard-hitting truth. You've never seen a black man trying to assassinate Donald Trump. You've never seen it.
And now common sense hopefully prevails as you can look out for yourself and not be deemed some horrible person for it. But folks, hit that like button, notification bell if you're enjoying the video. And if you want to support the channel, check out the membership page for more. And let's get back in.
It doesn't bother me like if I'm getting to an elevator. This happened to us. We'll get in an elevator and it's just a white lady. And she'll just back in the corner and just like grab onto her purse.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't blame you.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I don't blame you at all.
But what's funny about it is they'll pretend that being intimidating is a terrible curse when it comes to something like a police stop, when they live their entire life trying to be as intimidating as possible.
Let's get a few people to bless the Cash App. $ Red 1803. Bless the Cash App or bless the Super Chat. Let's get into this content. Red Supreme, King Supreme, delivering the damn game. You already know, baby. 100%. 100 for sure.
Exactly.
You're standing a certain way. You're dressing a certain way. You're listening to certain music. You're fucking gangbanging. You want everyone to walk past you to know you're a real fucking G. You want everyone scared of you all the time. Except for when the cop gets scared and pulls his weapon, then it's like, whoa, what's the problem? You've been scaring people your whole fucking life. You've been intimidating people your whole life. You could have had a 3-piece suit on and a fucking little hat. Yeah. You've been fine. No, you're wearing a fucking Crip bandana. Why do you think I was a gangster?
Like, talking in Ebonics.
Yeah, but it's bullshit. So all of this is done on purpose. This whole racism argument is going way too far. As far as I know, black people and white people have basically the fair treat. The law applies to all of us. DEI actually gave black people a whole.
Well, the law doesn't apply to all of us, right? Like, you know, a white guy said this, right? And make sure that you guys hit the like button and support the content, support the show. A white guy said this. I think it was on Fox Soul, right? And you know how on Fox Soul they had that debate between the Black Panther Party guy and the ex-white police officer. You know, they always do these debates on Fox Soul. And I'm gonna start covering that show again because I did a lot of that a few months ago, but we're gonna get back to it. But anyway, the white guy said, well, we're treated equal. You know, the law applies to everybody. Then the black dude said, no, it's not. When black people commit crimes, we serve more prison time than white people. White people have gotten away with unaliving black people. Every time a black person was unalived by a white police officer, Charlie Kirk justified the death of that black person, especially if a white person took his life. Charlie Kirk said that Trayvon Martin was stalking and hunting George Zimmerman at 2 o'clock in the morning, when in reality, it was the other way around. George Zimmerman was following Trayvon Martin, right? So when they had the conversation on Fox Soul, he said, well, shit, you can't, black people don't get away with doing anything. You know, we serve stiffer prison sentences. We get stiffer prison sentences for the same crimes that white guys commit. And then he said, well, the black dude said, well, you can't really name anything. Black people don't get away with nothing. The white dude said, well, black people get away with plenty of crimes. He said, you must think about O.J. Simpson. Black people get away with plenty of crimes. You must think about O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson was acquitted because of, you know, the lack of evidence. Now, Charlie Kirk said it himself. Well, George Zimmerman was innocent because he was acquitted. He was found not guilty. Well, O.J. Simpson was found not guilty. But you know what that white guy on Fox Soul said? Well, black guys do get away with crimes. You must think about O.J. Simpson. Let O.J. Simpson rest in peace. He tried to use O.J. Simpson as an example that black people get away with unaliving white people. How often does that happen? And by the way, O.J. Simpson was acquitted. No, I don't want to hear that. You must think about O.J. Simpson when you think about blacks who get away with crimes. Yeah.
Bunch of advantages over white people. So to sit here and believe that this is a racist country is completely ignorant. It's not a racist country. And you can succeed in this country if you, no matter what skin color you are, if you try your best and you conduct yourself the right way. And perhaps there'll be the odd scenario where you feel like you're being treated differently because of your skin color in a negative, but also you're not talking about all of the times you were treated in a positive because of your skin color. Perhaps because you're a big black man, you have problems in police stops, but you ain't got problems walking alone at night like a little white person does. So there's a bunch of times people were sitting there waiting to rob someone and goes, not him.
Right.
So you had the pros and the cons.
Right.
So you get the pros and the cons of these things.
That's life.
That's life. So
you gotta take advantage of the pros.
Exactly. And just to go back on my point, because I mentioned it earlier, and I just want to wrap it up. I said about how Africa's poor because it's rich.
Oh, well, I'm going to tell you, blacks do get away with crimes. Blacks do get away with unaliving people. You must think about O.J. Simpson. Man, that was a complete joke.
I watched a really interesting study. You should watch it. It was about what makes the perfect nation. Because I was trying to build the perfect country in my mind. Like, what would make the perfect nation? It was talking about if you started from zero, how would you have the richest, most prosperous, perfect country? And it said the countries with the best weather are countries like England and Netherlands, because you want it to be a little bit rainy. You want to be able to have agriculture, and you don't want people to have too much fun for free. Like in Thailand, they ain't got to be rich. They just go to the beach, get coconut. They're living good. In England, you got to have a Ferrari and a mansion. You're still depressed. Right. So you work very hard. You pay a lot of taxes. There's a whole bunch of things involved with it. But it said that if you have a complicated societal structure, natural resources makes your country richer. So like Norway is very rich. They have oil and a bunch of natural resources, but they have a complicated social structure. So they dig the oil up, and that money goes to the Norwegian Sovereign Wealth Fund, which goes into the stocks and bonds and the gold ETFs, and it's all tracked online, and they're a very rich country. Africa's super rich, but they don't have complicated systems. So what happens there is if they discover cobalt, the problem with natural resources is it doesn't require society to get the value of it. So if you have a country that builds jet engines, you now need factories, which takes workforce, which need houses, which need universities, which need schools, which need hospitals, which needs roads. So you have to build all this infrastructure around it to produce these jet engines. If you find cobalt, you just got to dig up.
Oh, well, surely blacks get away with committing violent crimes. All you got to do is think about O.J. Simpson. White people love to use O.J. Simpson as an example when they want to talk about black people getting away with crimes.
out of the ground. So Africa's problem is that it's so rich, they don't have these complicated structures. So what happens is they find cobalt, the dictator gets a deal from outside, usually the West, to get money into his pocket. They send a few soldiers and a few kids to go dig it up. They take all the cobalt out, it goes straight to the West. The dictator gets rich. None of the African people get rich. None of the African nation gets rich. They don't build anything, and the cobalt's gone. West is rich. Dictator goes to Dubai. Boom, done. So Africa's biggest problem is that it's actually so rich in resources that it's held back by how many things it has. If it didn't have any resources, they could build things and put it all together and start building jet engines, but they don't, because they're like, look, we found something interesting here. Dictator gets rich, few of the elites get rich, and the average person gets fucked. It's kind of unfair. But that's the African
stupidity.
Story.
I mean, do you think that's? I'm going to sound like a white supremacist when I say this.
I know what you're going to say. Don't even say
Do you think that's genetic?
Well,
but come on, man.
Byron Daniels is after me. Byron Daniels. No, but let's think.
Well, let me take that back. It's not genetic, it's culture.
Yeah. I mean, but culture on a long enough time frame is genetic.
Yeah.
This is the problem.
Yeah.
So like if when white people, you know what I love? If you watch on Twitter, it's actually
Man, Andrew Tate is man, I don't see how anybody follows this crap right here. This is just ridiculous, but this is buffoonery. This is coonery and straight buffoonery. This is ridiculous. Oh, well, you must think about O.J. Simpson. Oh, yeah, I'm telling you this. Think about O.J. Simpson when you want to think about black people getting away with crimes. O.J. Simpson is a poster child for black folks getting away with violent crimes. Yeah.
the best argument. It's so fun. The race realists, the super racists who say like black people are genetically different to white people and you're more violent and and all this shit. They always attack me on Twitter they call me mulatto and all this shit. Yeah. It's so funny. And I read all their shit. I read all their shit. I read all the race realism stuff. And I'm kind of sitting there going, kind of agree with some of it. Yeah. They're saying black people are more naturally violent. I'm like, hey, damn right. Watch out. But that's right, pussy.
So black people are more naturally violent, right? But he's not once did he bring up any violent crimes that was committed by white people. Not once did he mention any violent crimes committed by white guys or white people in general. The president that white people love so much in America, who tried to assassinate him on 3 different attempts, it was a white man, white guys. Charlie Kirk, the guy that white people love so much in this country, who unalived Charlie? Well, it was a white guy. But let them tell it, blacks are the most violent in this country. Study the history of this country and you tell me who's the most violent group of people.
But culture on a long enough time frame becomes genetics. I mean, let's be honest. Is the average African as smart as the average Westerner? No. I would argue that if you go to the Central African Republic where they don't have schools and they don't have infrastructure and their parents haven't been to school and their grandparents haven't been to school, that probably they're not as smart as somebody who's everyone their entire bloodline.
Come on, you guys. I need you guys to do a better job at blessing the like button. If you're watching the show, make sure that you bless the like button and also share this with your people. Tell a friend that's going to tell a friend. Spread the content. King Supreme is in full effect, live and direct. Microphone check. Shout out to Tariq Nasheed.
I've been university educated. Probably that is true. So after a long enough time frame, it becomes genetic. And then you want to take enough of them and dump them over here and expect them to operate within complicated systems they don't fully understand. Right. They're probably just going to say, fuck it, let's rob the store. And then you have, I mean, this is realism. This is realism.
Yeah, because you look at Africa, it's a continent, it's not a country, but if that was a country like the United States with the resources they got, the manpower they have, it would be a superpower.
It should be
the biggest superpower.
It should be a superpower.
But this little United States, majority is white, is running the world.
Well, white people are the best at building complicated systems. That's what the white people do best.
Yeah.
I mean, like my camera guy who's off. There he is. Look at him. Look at him.
White
right?
guy.
These are the people who, in 1960s in NASA, when they did Apollo 11.
Yeah.
All them motherfuckers, there's like 20,000 of them, little white guys with glasses and pieces of paper and a pen, and they put something on the moon.
Yeah.
You get 10,000 black people in a room, tell them to achieve anything.
Damn, that was rough. But I guess the closest example you could use is probably going to be like Baltimore, Chicago. I mean, some of these inner city places, I mean, just look at what is produced on the other side. And I mean, take that for what it's worth, folks. But thanks for watching. Let me know down below.
Oh, you must think about Chicago and Baltimore. The blacks are very violent. The blacks are savage. The blacks are criminals. Yeah. When you think about crime, you must think about when you think about crime, you must think about inner city Chicago. That is a prime example of black criminality, and it's spreading all across the country. When you think about black people getting away with violent crimes, you must think about O.J. Simpson. Yeah, let's think about O.J. Simpson. All right, just think about O.J. Simpson. All right, man, we gonna think about O.J. Simpson. Let's go to the let's think about O.J. Simpson, right? Hit the like button. It ain't nothing, man. Make sure that you guys support the content, support the show in a major way. You already knowing we don't play. It is what it is, man. You already know. Let me tell you something. You already know that white conservatives are not going to hold white people accountable for anything. Black conservatives, they're not going to hold white people accountable for anything. So it's just hypocrisy on both sides, man. And I think you already know what to do when it comes to that, right? Hit the like button. It ain't nothing. Red Supreme. Make sure that you support this game in a major way. You know? So let's get into the content, man. Listen, man, I didn't want to make this one too long. We've been here for about an hour, and you already know we got the power. You know, salute to everybody for tapping in. Where you guys at, man? Yeah. Salute to everybody. You know? You knew. Let's move on to the next clip, man. Shout out to my people up in the building. You already know what to do. Red Supreme, support this beautiful game.
Ms. Smith, the court has or not. I agree with that 100%. That's very insulting to me that you would come into my courtroom dressed like that.
I apologize. I had no idea it was in as a visit.
Now, why would you show up in a courtroom with a bonnet on your head and tattoos everywhere? This woman is a walking stereotype. You're giving people like the Hodge twins all the ammunition they need to destroy the black community with their commentary. She showed up the court with a bonnet and tattoos on her arm and tattoos on her breast.
And not a court date. So I was unaware that this was a court date.
Wait a minute, what? Look at the white people. 5 cases of black fatigue. Wait a minute, when you get a summons or a letter in the mail to go to court, that's not a court visit. Yeah. She's saying it's a visit? Yeah. Well, you just check it in to see where you're supposed to be at next time you get your... Yeah, like an orientation for your court date or something. That's crazy. Yeah, you know everybody's going to be dressed in suits. There's going to be police officers, going to be bailiffs, there's going to be attorneys. People going to be dressed to impress, to show respect to the court. And you show up like this? She's totally lying. She's making an excuse. She knows she's looking crazy. I bet you... Everybody looking at this like, what are you wearing? You show up to court wearing a bonnet? Hey, look at, and that do like a swimsuit. Yeah, it does. It's like she's going to go swimming afterwards. Look at these ladies' faces. She says, yep. Should have never gave him freedom.
Because she wrote on the back of the card a visit. So it was never said that this was a court date.
All right, this is case number 23CR 40542, the state of Ohio versus Monique Smith. Ms. Smith, the court has received a report that alleges that you have violated the terms of your ILC. Officer, statement of the allegation, please.
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Smith has violated ILC condition number 1, and then on June 11th of 2025, the defendant pled guilty to and was sentenced for 1 count of OVI and 1 count of driving.
What the hell is all these OVIs, LEIs?
Under suspension. This was in Middletown. for 1 count of OVI and 1 count of driving under suspension. This was in Middletown. And then on June 11th, the defendant pled guilty and was sentenced for another count of driving under suspension under a different case number, also in Middletown. On December 10th, 2024, the defendant pled guilty to and was sentenced for 1 count of driving under suspension, or under an OVI suspension under a case in Middletown. And on July 12th, 2024, the defendant pled guilty to and was sentenced for 1 count of driving under suspension. As well as ILC condition number 8, the defendant has failed to inform her probation officer of law enforcement contact after picking up a new OVI charge and another traffic offense on March 24th of 2025.
Black women, man, let me tell you something. Stop going to grocery stores in these bunnettes. Stop going to grocery stores with bunnettes and pajamas on. You're giving these people ammunition to talk crazy about you. You're giving these people all the ammunition they need to talk crazy about you. Stop showing up in public places with bunnettes and pajamas. Stop doing that.
Special condition number 16C, the defendant failed to complete drug or alcohol treatment as ordered on February 1st.
And that's me giving advice to black women, because even when I go out, you know, and I gotta be real, like, stop going to public places with house shoes on, pajamas, and bunnettes. You give these people ammunition to say the things that they say about you. You come outside looking crazy.
2024, special condition 16D, the defendant has failed to.
Look at this woman right here.
Yeah.
Man, it's crazy. She's got a probation officer. Yeah, because she keeps driving with a suspended license. You don't get put on probation. You don't get a probation officer for driving repeatedly on a suspended license. I'm saying typically that's a petty crime. That's why she's trying to throw it in.
All right, the court will find that you're indigent for the purposes of retaining counsel. The court will appoint attorney Roger Bouchard to represent you in this matter. Court finds that there's probable cause you have violated the terms of your ILC, and this matter is going to be set for final hearing. Ms. Smith, I don't know what you expect, you know, looking at your record. This isn't your first contact with the court, but I'm not sure what you've expected or what you have done in other courtrooms, but this is very different. I'm going to hold you to what I ordered you to do. Yes. So you owe significant amount in restitution.
It's $11,433.
You have been on ILC for over a year. You have done, basically, you have not done anything, and you continue to break the law. The next time you appear before me, you better have a solid plan in place, or you are going into custody. Do you understand me?
Yes.
You owe $11,000 to the victim in this case. You don't seem to care that I've ordered you to do things. You come to court dressed very inappropriately, and I'm telling you right now, I don't know what your contact with the court has been in the past, but it's...
Man, he said, look at how you came to court. Look at how you look. Look at how you dress. It shows me that you're reckless and you don't give a damn. Stop giving these people all this ammunition to talk crazy about you.
Right now, I don't know what your contact with the court has been in the past, but it's going to be different when you come in here to see me again. Do you understand me?
Yes.
Because the next time I see you, if you haven't done something, you are going into custody. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
All right, that's all. I want you at the podium. To me,
$11,000 in restitution. How the hell is she going to ever pay that? Yeah, that is crazy.
She going to have to do some community service. That's how she can pay for it. She don't have the money, so she can do some community service, pick up some trash, paint over some graffiti, do some community service. That is how she could pay off. That is how she can pay it off, because you know she ain't got no money. People who have money don't show up in public looking like that. People with money, people who are successful, people who are financially stable do not show up to a courtroom looking like this.
She's never gonna be able to pay. Let me cover up.
Why don't she just do some community service to pay off those damn fines?
It's a nipple action I got going. Who started that bonnet craze? I'm sure it's probably some female rapper, and she wore it in a rap video. Yeah, because this is a new phenomenon. Like a couple years ago, I never seen black women wearing bonnets. Anybody? It's just, yeah, I mean, white ladies.
I'm going to do a show tomorrow about Jesse Lee Peterson. Jesse Lee Peterson said that black women are the worst women on planet Earth. So we're gonna dissect that, and we're gonna dive into that. A lot of black women are gonna get offended, but we got to dissect this comment. We got to dissect this commentary, and we're gonna give our honest opinion. So Jesse Lee Peterson says that black women are masculine and combative, and they're the worst women on planet Earth because they never want to be held accountable. We're going to do a video, and we're going to see what everybody in the comments had to say about that. What I will do tomorrow for tomorrow's show, I will drop the link and bring everybody up to speed. You know, and it's just one of those things, man.
Used to wear it back in the 40s and 50s. It wasn't meant to be worn outside. It was like walking around the house with her. But anyway, that's some new phenomenon. I don't know who started that. Yeah. But I'm sure it was some black female rapper. I guarantee it. That's the only people I see wearing is blacks. The blacks. That's how Jesse Peterson would say it, the blacks. I like to use technical terms. Sub-Saharan. Yeah, man. She should be locked up. She should be in jail. Sounds like she committed a serious crime.
Jesse Lee Peterson said that black women are argumentative, they're combative, and they don't listen to their men. Which is why you should never date a black woman because they're the worst women on planet Earth. Words of Jesse Lee Peterson. And we're going to dissect that tomorrow. And you guys' honest opinion, and I know we love black people and we speak against Samboism and coonery, right? But let me say this. And you guys' honest opinion, do you guys feel like black women listen to you? Now, I'm not talking about you as an individual, because some guys, yeah, black women listen to me. Collectively, in general, do you feel like black women listen to black men, even when black men have their best interests in mind? I'm not talking about a man who wants to destroy you and put you down. When it comes to black men who have your best interests in mind, when it comes to black men who have black women's best interests in mind, do you guys think that black women listen to black men who have their best interests in mind? Be honest. I don't want you kissing black women's behind. I want you to be honest. So when I do this show tomorrow, man, we're going to drop the link and we're going to bring some people up to speak. Can we say that black women will listen to black men who have their best interests in mind? Are black women receptive to the information? Can black women accept correction from black men? Can black women accept correction from black men? Will they listen to black men who have their best interests in mind? Give me some I want you guys to give me some honest feedback in the comments. Because Jesse Lee Peterson said black women don't even listen to black men who have their best interests in mind. They're combative, they're argumentative, and they won't listen. They hard-headed. Words of Jesse Lee Peterson.
I don't know what that acronym stands for. What was it? Go back. Let me go back to the beginning. Let me pull it up. Because the acronym OVI stands for. Most commonly stands for operating vehicle impaired. Oh, okay. Okay. No. It's operating a vehicle impaired. DUI. Well, they didn't use a DUI. Maybe.
Shout out to my dog Scoop in the building. Scoop said black women gonna avoid that show tomorrow. See, black women, listen, man, and I got love for black women because there's a lot of black women who rock with me and I rock with them. Shout out to the lovely ladies, shout out to the lovely sisters. But overall, black women don't like criticism. They don't like to be told about themselves, right? And I have to be honest and give black women some constructive criticism. Black women don't want nobody correcting their behavior. They don't want nobody correcting them for anything they do. And this is what I got to say about the conscious community. If black men are saying something nice about black women, they'll accept those compliments all day. But when black men have some constructive criticism, even when they have black women's best interests in mind, black women ain't gonna want to listen to that. They're not going to want to listen to that. I know some black females who, check this out. And listen, I hold everybody accountable. So you can't call me a coon. Oh, he hates black women. He's bashing black women. No, I'm just being honest with them because I want to see them do better. I know this black chick, right, who was, she got a few baby daddies, right? And I know a lot of black women who got a few baby daddies. So all of these black women gonna listen. They're gonna listen to. Oh, he talking about me. I'm not talking about you. There's so many black women who are in the same category, right? Let me say this to you. I know this black woman who had babies, right? And she got a few baby daddies, and none of her baby daddies married her, right? But she found some guy who wasn't her baby daddy to wife her up. That relationship didn't work. Then she had another baby. She went from being a baby mama, then she became somebody's wife. That marriage didn't work. And then she became a baby mama again. So she went from being a wife to a baby mama. And none of the men who gave her babies married her. Some guy who decided to take a chance on her, who don't have no children with her, married her, and the relationship didn't work. And after that relationship, she met another guy and had a baby with him, and that guy didn't marry her at all. So she found a man that she didn't have babies with to marry her, but none of her baby daddies married her. She got divorced from her husband and then hooked up with another guy and had a baby with him, and he didn't marry her at all. So she went from she was a baby mama, then she got married, she got divorced, and then became a baby mama again because the guy that she had her last baby with wouldn't marry her. That is backwards thinking. This is what I mean by a lot of you women, you're in desperate need of some game. You're in desperate need of some real instructions. Game delivered by Red Supreme. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just being honest. How you look at Cardi B? Cardi B went from being a wife to a baby mama. I'm not saying that Offset was a great man. I'm not saying that at all. But Cardi B went from being a wife to now a baby mama. And you know, unfortunately, a lot of black females have that mentality. I'm going to leave Offset because he's cheating on me. And you're going to get with another man that's going to cheat on you. Do you think Stephon Diggs is going to give Cardi B monogamy? Stephon Diggs is not going to give Cardi B monogamy. You went from being a wife to a baby mama. And the man that you're having this baby with, he's not going to wife you. He's not going to give you monogamy. No man is going to give Cardi B monogamy. Let's be honest. I want everybody in the comment section to be honest with me. Do you really believe that Stephon Diggs is going to give Cardi B monogamy? Let me know how you guys feel about it. Do you really believe that Stephon Diggs is going to give Cardi B monogamy? It's not going to happen. I'm just going to be honest with you. Why? He doesn't have to give Cardi B monogamy to sleep with her, to creep with her, for her to give him, you know, intimacy and some sexual healing, loving a feeling of sexual healing. Stephon Diggs will not give Cardi B monogamy. Cardi B went from being somebody's wife to a baby mama. And Stephon Diggs will not give her monogamy. Why? Because he doesn't have to. It's not going to happen. I got to be honest with everybody. No man, listen, homie, no man on planet Earth is going to give Cardi B monogamy. She got 3 babies by Offset, and now she's having another baby by Stephon Diggs. No man in his right mind is going to give Cardi B monogamy. It's not going to happen. Keep dreaming.
It's not alcohol, maybe it's some kind of drug. Okay, yeah. So that's why. Maybe that's why they use OVI. Yeah, she's driving impaired. That's why she's got to do drug checks and stuff like that to make sure she's off of drugs. Probably weed. Probably. She's like a weed smoker. That's the favorite party drug for the sub-Saharan. Well, actually, that's the
you're out of here.
Demographic of person on this planet, regardless of your ethnicity. No, but black people take that on a whole nother level. Oh, I know some white people. They love to smoke that monkey bush.
He doesn't smoke that monkey butt. We love to smoke that monkey butt.
Yeah, got a show for y'all. Got a damn good show. When I hear some people talk, I'm like, where did you get this information? Yeah. Yeah, when you hear somebody talk, I'm like,
listen, bro. So it makes you think, like, why would Offset make, listen, man, and I say this a lot, man. I say this a lot. And a lot of ladies, they're going to get pissed off with this, but I got to say this. I got to drop some game. Why would a man marry you when it doesn't require marriage, right? Listen, I mean, these women don't require marriage for you to have sex with them. They don't require marriage for you to have babies with them. So why would Offset marry Cardi B? Now he's looking like, damn, why did I marry this woman in the first place when any man could just have sex with her and have fun with her? So why did I marry her in the first place? These women do not require marriage before they have sex. So why would you give her the world and marry her when you don't have to marry her to get sex from her? That doesn't make sense. If this woman is willing to give her body to men who don't, if this woman is willing to give her body to men who didn't marry her, why would you marry her? That doesn't make sense. I can see if she held out and said, you know what, I'm going to save my body for my husband. That makes sense to marry a woman like that. But if this woman has given her body to several men who didn't marry her, she's given her body to a few different men who didn't marry her. Why would you come along later and marry this woman when she never required that? She never required that any of these men that she gave her body to, she never required that they marry her before they had sex with her, before they gave her babies. So why would you come along later and marry her when none of the men who came before you had to marry her? That doesn't make sense. That is not rooted in logic. That is foolishness 100%. She didn't require marriage from none of her baby daddies. She didn't require marriage from none of the men she slept with. But you're going to come along later and marry her when she never required marriage from any of the men that she had babies with. That's crazy. And I know a lot of ladies are going to get pissed off with that, but damn it, everybody gets pissed off with the truth. Nobody wants to hear the damn truth.
Mm-hmm. Like, you know they're wrong, but I'm like, where did you get this information? Are you just making this up? Yeah, I heard this. I was looking on.
Listen, man, I got to be real with you. If a woman already didn't had several bodies and she got baby daddies and she's not married today, what's the benefit of you marrying her when she never required marriage from none of the guys that she had babies with? So why would you come along and marry this woman when she's never required marriage from none of the kids? She's never required marriage from any of these guys that she had babies with. So why would you come along later and marry a woman that's given her body to several men that's never married her? That doesn't make sense. Or let's say you meet a woman like Cardi B. She found a, now don't get it twisted. Some of these women get lucky and they find a sucker to marry them. They find a simp to marry them, right? But none of those relationships ever work, and she'll be right back to the streets. Eventually, she's going to go right back to the streets, because even if she does find a simp to marry her, that relationship is not going to last. Why? Because she's not fit for marriage. They want the benefit of marriage, but these women are not fit to be anybody's wife in most cases. I'm not saying that it applies to all women, but it applies to the majority of women. A lot of these women want the benefit of being taken care of. They want the benefit of a man taking care of them so that they ain't got to work. But none of these women are qualified to be anybody's wife. They don't know how to cook. They don't take care of a house. They don't do anything. If you've dated a lot of women who are in their 20s and 30s, they don't know how to cook. They don't know how to prepare meals. They don't even know how to keep up with a house the way that they should. She don't have no wife qualities, but she wants some simp to marry her so that she ain't got to work, so that she ain't got to pay no bills. You're going to give her the good life, and what are you getting in return? You're going to get a woman who already has baby daddies, and she doesn't have any wife qualities. She's been promiscuous. She has children and baby daddies. She don't have any wife qualities, but you're going to come along later and marry this woman who has zero wife qualities. You a fool, homie. Look at yourself in the mirror and understand that you are a fool. You are a certified fool.
Instagram, this dude said that these transgenders, right, man, transgender woman.
Now, you know what people are going to say? That's red pill content. No, that's reality. That's not red pill content. What I'm giving you is reality. If you don't believe me, deal with these modern females. You're going to say, damn, Red was right. Most of these women don't cater to a man. They don't cook. They don't know how to keep a house clean. They don't know how to organize a house. They just want the benefit of you marrying them. They want the benefit of you providing for them, but they have zero wife qualities. Tons of women fall in that category. It ain't just a few of them. It's a large majority of them who fall in that category. It ain't just a few of them that happened.
Biological man with a woman's soul inside of him. I believe that. I believe that. No, you ain't got no woman's soul. You just gay. When you got the soul of a woman. Hey, so these transgender women, these biological men.
Make sure that you guys support the Cash App for some of this beautiful game. Entertainment game by Red Supreme, King Supreme in a major way. Huh? You know how many women, listen, homie, what's the benefit of you taking care of a woman who don't do nothing? All she do is sit at the house and have sex with you and she looks pretty. You can get any woman to do that. A woman don't have to make no sacrifices to sit around and do nothing while you bring home all the bacon and she don't do nothing. What? You got to be a simple-minded individual to settle for that. Seriously. Seriously, you got to be a simple-minded individual. That's crazy. A lot of these ladies fought for the right to be independent. They fought for the right to get in the workforce, right? But now that they have to work, they don't want to be independent no more. They want a man to take care of them. Let me ask you this. If you meet a chick and she already got kids by another man, why would you meet this woman and pay 100% and she's bringing children to the table from another man? That doesn't make sense. Women got to understand, you got to bring something to the table. The days of you sitting at home, that's not going to work. That's not good enough. If she doesn't produce, you must cut her loose. She don't get to sit at home and be pretty while you get out there and make all the money, and she sits at home and does nothing. Those days.
They got the soul of a woman in them. Yeah. No, they do not. Got the soul of a woman. Metaphorically. I'm talking figuratively. No, it's just a gay dude. Well, Kevin, we ain't talking about crannies today. We talking about Negroes. This black woman said some of the. I know these are all lies. Check out what this black woman. Did you do your research? I ain't got to research this. I ain't got to research this. Yeah, it sounds that preposterous, huh? It sounds, man. It sounds dumb. No, it ain't dumb. Y'all be the judge. Check it out.
All I'm saying is this, and this applies to women in general. Women make money. Listen, man, you will be a fool if you got a woman who has a job and she ain't gonna break no bread, she ain't gonna pay no bills. Listen, homie, the cost of living has gone up. You can't afford to be with a woman that's not productive. You can't afford to be with a woman who's just gonna sit around and do basic things. Now, she say, well, I want to be a wife. Listen, homie, you don't have to marry a woman to get her to cook and clean for you and give you sex. You don't have to marry a woman to get that. So what's so special about this woman that has children by another man that you're going to marry her, put her in a white position to where she ain't got to work and do nothing? She's going to cook, she's going to clean and give you sex. You can get any woman to do that for you. Listen, homie, when you a man that's getting your bread out here and you getting your paper, you can get a woman that's going to have sex with you, cook meals and clean your house, and you don't have to marry her to get her to do that. Now, a lot of ladies not going to like that. Why? Because ladies don't give a damn about what benefits men. They only give a damn what benefits themselves because they are selfish in most cases. Does it apply to all women? No, but it applies to the majority. Anything over 50% is the majority. You don't have to marry these women to listen, homie. And ladies, I want you to listen with an open mind. Women in 2025 do not require marriage for you to have sex with them. They don't require marriage for you to have babies with them. They don't require marriage for them to cook and clean for you. So why would you marry this woman who got children by other men and none of her baby daddies married her, but you're going to marry her and she's going to sit at home and just cook and clean and give you sex? You can get any woman to cook and clean and give you sex, and you don't have to marry her to receive that treatment. Please believe it. This ain't red pill content. This is reality content. I'm just telling you the truth. But guess what? Most people don't want to hear the damn truth. These women do not require marriage before they have sex. These women do not require marriage before they get pregnant. These women do not require marriage. And if you don't believe me, look at all these women with baby daddies and none of their baby daddies married them. That proves everything that I say. These women do not require marriage for you to have sex with them. They don't. So if she already got baby daddies, Why would you marry her when none of her baby daddies did? What's so special about this woman that you need to marry her when none of the men who put babies in her married her anyway? That's a serious question. That is a real question, but a lot of people will say you're bashing women. I'm not bashing women. That is an honest question. If none of your baby daddies married you, why would some successful man who don't have children with you marry you when none of your baby daddies did? That doesn't make any sense.
The brain drain. Africa really needs the brains. We are the most intelligent race on the face of the planet. We invented almost everything that made this society and every society on the face of the planet human. And when I mean human, I mean as in toilets, sanitary, everything comes from Africa. The chair, the traffic light, the car, the computer. What is it we haven't created?
They created cars, computers, and toilets. Look, just cause a Negro in Africa dug a hole in the ground, sat down.
My fault. I had it on mute. If you meet a woman, right, that has multiple, she got baby daddies, right, and none of her baby daddies married her, right? My fault, it was on mute. What's the benefit of you marrying a woman who never required marriage from any of the men that gave her babies? Women in 2025 don't require marriage before you have sex with them. They don't require marriage for them to cater to you. They don't require marriage for them to cook for you. So if women in 2025 don't require marriage before they have sex and before they have babies, what's the benefit of you wiping up another man's baby mama? None of her baby daddies married her. None of the men that gave her babies married her. So why would you come along later and marry her? What is so special about this woman that she deserves marriage from you when none of her baby daddies wiped her up? None of them. What is so special about this woman that you feel like you need to do it? That's a legitimate question. I'm looking for a simple answer. That's a legitimate question. She got all these baby daddies and had sex partners. None of her baby daddies married her, but you're going to come along and marry her, even though you don't have no children with the woman. What is so special about this woman that you're going to wife her up when none of her baby daddies did? What is so special about this woman? I bet money none of these guys can give you a legitimate answer or none of these guys can give you a logical explanation. Well, I married her because she gives me sex and cooks me food. A successful man with his stuff in order can easily get a woman to have sex with him, could easily get a woman to have a baby for him, could easily get a woman to cater him, and you don't have to marry these women to get any of that treatment. You know how many men with their stuff together can get women, beautiful women. I'm not talking about masculine, obese women. They can get beautiful women to have sex with them. You got your money together, you're successful, you making moves, you can get beautiful, hot chicks to have sex with you and to cater to you. And guess what? You don't have to marry them to receive that treatment. So what's the purpose of you getting a woman that already has children by other men? None of her baby daddies married her. What's the purpose of you wiping a woman who never required marriage from any one of her baby daddies? She got all these babies out of wedlock and none of those dudes married her, but you're going to come along later and wipe this same woman up. What's the benefit in doing so? A lot of ladies, you're not gonna like to hear this, but I have to give men this game. I speak for the black community, but at the same time, I'm a black man, and I have to speak up for what's beneficial to men. What's the benefit of you wiping up somebody else's baby mama? I'm looking for a simple answer.
And drop the load in there doesn't mean he invented toilets, you stupid black. Hey, wait a minute. That's the second time I've heard a black person say that the computer, internet.
See, it's fine. One thing I notice about our community, as long as I'm telling white people the truth, or if I'm telling black men the truth, nobody has a problem with that. They only have a problem when I tell black women the truth. And a lot of these so-called pro-black men, you notice that they don't have anything to say when I ask black women legitimate questions. Am I bashing black women? No, I'm trying to help them. What I'm telling them is stop having babies out of wedlock, then expecting for a man who's not the father of your children to wife you up later. More than likely, it'll never happen. You put yourself in a bad position. That's not bashing black women. That's me being honest with black women. A lot of these pro-black men, they're not being honest with black women. Why? Because they never had that conversation. They avoid those conversations. Why? Because they're too afraid to offend black women. Right? But in reality, you're helping black women because guess what? You're going to save the next generation of women from making the same mistakes of the women who came before them. So black women, I say this out of love. Don't expect for a man to marry you and you coming to the table and you got babies by different men. So he's going to provide and protect for you, and you're coming to the tables with problems and issues that you created before he met you, and you got children by other men, but you want some man who's not the father of your children to wife you up. You expect for that man to see value in you. What does he get out of wifing up a woman like you who's coming with baggage and children from other men? Well, they say, well, men got children too, but let me tell you the difference between men and women. Men are not asking women to provide for their children, but if you date a single mother, and we all know that the majority of these single mothers are struggling financially. Anything over 50% is the majority. Being a single mother is a traumatic experience. Most of these single mothers are struggling with bills. They're struggling with their rent. They're struggling with their car note. Their whole life is a struggle. So you're going to take on this woman that's going to come with this long. You're going to take on this woman that's going to come with these long list of problems, babies by other men, but you're going to wipe her up, right? Now, if you want to do that, fine, do that. I'm asking you, what's the benefit of doing that? Basically, you're taking care of another man's family. Because if you take on a chick with a baby by another man, guess what? You always going to have another man in your business, and you're going to take on a woman with a long list of problems. A lot of her problems are financial, mental, and psychological, because being a single mother is a traumatic experience, especially when you think about the cost of living. The cost of everything has gone up. So if you take on a single mother, you're going to be raising somebody else's child. You're going to be providing for somebody else's child, and you're going to have another man in your business because her baby daddy is going to be in your business. Why? Because he's going to say, you got another man around my child. So you're going to have another man in your business. You're going to deal with a woman with a lot of financial issues, mental and psychological issues. That woman who's a single mother is going to come to the table with a whole lot of baggage. Being a single mother is a traumatic experience. Don't let them tell you no different. Most of these single mothers are struggling financially. So if you take her serious, you're going to be providing for her and that child that she didn't have by another man, and you're going to take on her long list of problems. Now, if you feel like you want to do that, by all means do it. I'm just warning you about all the problems that's going to come with taking on a single mother if you want to take her serious. See, it's one thing if you're just having sex with her and having fun with her, but if you take one of these single mothers serious, a lot of them have financial issues. They're struggling financially, the majority of them, and she got a baby daddy that's always going to be in your business because he's going to say, well, you got another man around my kid. So he's going to feel like he has the right to be in her business because you're not the father of her child. So he feel like he has the right to be in your business because you're living in a household with his kid. So those are the things that you must consider when you think about wiping up a single mother.
That was invented by a black man. She said computer. Ain't no black man. Ain't no black man built no damn car neither. Henry Ford did that, right? He played a huge role. I read a book that white man engineered motor vehicles.
Yeah. See, in the black community, it's okay to tell black women what type of men to not deal with, right? What type of men to avoid. It's perfectly fine to say that to the women. But when we tell men the type of women that they need to avoid, then a lot of black women don't want to hear that. Why? Because unfortunately, a lot of black women fall in that category. A lot of this stuff that I'm saying applies to a lot of black women. So of course they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear that. A lot of this stuff that I'm saying, unfortunately, applies to a lot of women in our community. So they don't want to hear me saying that. They don't want to hear it. White people don't want to hear the truth. Nobody wants to hear the truth. If we held white people accountable for the things they do, they're going to say, stop pretending to be a victim. They're going to gaslight you. They're going to deflect. It's the same thing with women in general. It doesn't matter if they're white or black. Women don't want to hear you tell the truth about them because you're putting more men up on game about their nature. So they don't want to hear those conversations. But all I'm saying is this: if the black community gonna get better, we have to acknowledge our flaws so that we can move forward. And if we can't acknowledge our flaws, we'll never move forward. We'll continue to make the same mistakes. You're gonna have women with baby daddies who expect a man who's not the father of their children to marry them. That's crazy. And then you're gonna have a lot of men who don't know how to be men because they're being raised by women. Right? So women are raising the same group of men that they despise. Oh, this is red pill content. No, this is reality content. I'm talking about what affects the black community in general, not just when it comes to racism. I'm talking about dating, mating, and when it comes to racism in this country. I'm speaking about everything that affects the black community, not just politics, not just racist white folks. We have to talk about dating and mating in our own community. We got to talk about what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. And too many pro-blacks in this community, they're too afraid to hold black women accountable. But if you really cared about black women, you would be honest with them so that they can do better moving forward. The next generation of black women would do better than the generation of black women who came before them. Why? Because when we spit this game and we drop this knowledge and we give you this science, it's going to stop black women, the younger generation, from making the same mistakes as the women who came before them. They're not going to be in their 30s with babies by different men saying, how come nobody wants to marry them? So if we can get the younger generation of black women to soak up this game, they're not going to make the same mistakes as the women who came before them. That is a solution. No, you know what people say? Well, what's the solution? The solution is always simple. The reality of it is this. Most people don't have the discipline to get to the solution. If you're a cigarette smoker, what's the solution? Well, the solution is to stop smoking cigarettes. If you're a gangbanger and you want to stay out of prison, what's the solution? Stop gangbanging. See, everybody knows what the solution is, but they don't have enough discipline to execute the game plan. A cigarette smoker knows that he needs to stop smoking, but he doesn't have enough discipline to do it. A female who's a nympho and a sex addict knows that she needs to stop having sex with these different men, but she's addicted to having sex with different men. She knows what the solution is, but she don't have enough discipline to execute the game plan. So when people say there's no solutions, the solution is always simple. You people don't have enough discipline to execute the game plan. You don't have enough discipline to get to the solution. But the solution is always common sense. It's not rocket science. A crackhead understands that he needs to stop smoking crack. That the solution is to stop smoking crack, but he doesn't have enough discipline to stop smoking crack. So when people say there's no solutions in this conversation, the solution is always simple. You just don't have enough discipline to execute the game plan. The solution is not rocket science. An alcoholic knows that he needs to stop drinking, but guess what? He don't have enough discipline to stop drinking. Everybody knows what the solution is. They don't have enough discipline to execute the plan, the game plan. So when I hear people saying you guys never provide solutions, the solution is always simple. You don't have enough discipline to do what's right for yourself. Stop pretending like you don't know what the solution is. You see it clearly. It's staring you right in the face. And what is that? The damn solution. Well, I don't know what the solution is. Stop, man, please. A person who gambles a lot knows that he needs to stop gambling. The solution to his problem is to stop gambling, but he doesn't have enough discipline to stop gambling. Stop pretending like you don't know what the solution is when the solution is staring you right in the face. Quit playing games. We know what it is. So I'm tired of these people saying, well, I hear what you're saying about women, but what's the solution? The solution is staring you right in the face, you fool. People who don't want to be held accountable pretend like they don't know what the solution is when the solution is clearly staring them right in the face. Straight up, 100%. You can go to my link, man. You can hit my channel and you can see my PayPal. And you can see my PayPal. All my links. All you got to do is go to King Supreme and you're going to see all the links on my channel. You can easily support the PayPal if you want to. Pete, let me say this again. People who don't want to be held accountable pretend like they don't know what the solution is, when the solution is simple and is always staring them right in the face. So anytime you hear somebody saying, well, what's the solution? That's a person who doesn't want to be held accountable. The solution is always simple. They just don't want to be held accountable for their bad decisions. So they'll pretend like they don't know what the solution is, or they'll pretend like you're not presenting solutions when the solution is right in their face. Straight up and down. I'm going to get up out of here, man. Listen, I'm sick of white people pretending like they don't see the violent crimes that they people commit. I'm sick of these women pretending like they don't see the solution to their problems. The thing is, they don't have enough discipline to execute. They don't have enough discipline to execute the game plan, although the solution is staring them right in the face. Right? The solution is never rocket science. It's simple. But the average person doesn't have enough discipline to execute the game plan to even get to the solution, even though it's right in their face. Those are the facts. A crackhead knows that he needs to stop smoking crack to better himself, but he don't have enough discipline to do it. A female who's promiscuous, she loves having sex. She's a sex addict. She knows that she don't need to be having sex with these different men, but she's addicted to sex. So she don't have enough discipline to stop doing what she's doing. Although she understands the solution, she just don't have the discipline to do it. A gangbanger understands that he needs to stop gangbanging so that he won't end up in prison. The thing is, he doesn't have enough discipline to stop gangbanging. Why? Because he's addicted to it. A cigarette smoker knows that he needs to stop smoking cigarettes to get it to have healthier lungs. But the thing is, a cigarette smoker on average don't have enough discipline to stop smoking cigarettes. And the solution is staring them right in the face. What is the solution? The solution is simple. Stop smoking cigarettes. A crack addict knows that he needs to stop smoking crack. He don't have enough discipline. He don't have enough discipline to put the crack pipe down. But don't pretend for 1 second that you don't know what the solution is. You know, let me get up out of here, man. Peace, love, and blessings. If you want to support the PayPal, listen, if you're serious about supporting the PayPal, Cat 6 Cable Guy just dropped the PayPal in the chat. Support the show for some of this hot game. Hot game delivered by Red Supreme. Act like you know. Make sure that you support the show in a major way. You know, so if you're going to ask me for the PayPal, make sure that you support the PayPal. And I appreciate you for supporting the PayPal. Shout out to Samaj, man, for blessing us with that 35 on the PayPal. You are highly appreciated for supporting this show. Great convo. Listen, let me tell you this here before I get up out of here. Let me say this. Men, black men with multiple baby mamas, they know the solution. Stop sleeping with these women unprotected, or just stop sleeping with these women, period. They know the solution, but they love sleeping with different women, and they don't have enough discipline to stop sleeping with all these different women. So the reality, the moral of the story is everybody understands what the solution is. The problem is the majority of these people don't have enough discipline to execute the game plan, but they understand what the solution is. It's staring you right in the face. Please understand that. It's your Play Upon the Red Supreme. Make sure that you like this stream in a major way. I got to get up out of here, y'all. I'm gone. Peace, love, and blessings. Giving you game to keep you from stressing. King Supreme. Support the damn game. Subscribe to the channel. And oh, yeah, make sure that you guys go over there and check out my shorts on King Supreme. Get my numbers up on those shorts. I will be posting more shorts today, but get on over there and hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and get us in the algorithm. Red Supreme.